such a bad game, honestly, on all aspects, on so many levels. There's so much to talk about, but yet so little at the same time. I mean, what can I say? It was just a dreadful game for a neutral, a dreadful game to watch as Chelsea fans, a dreadful game to watch if you're a Leeds fan. It was just, it was honestly terrible. The quality of football was abysmal. Neither team could string a pass. It was just a poor game. Really lethargic from Chelsea, but couldn't string two passes together. Too many poor performances on the pitch, and ultimately we've dropped 2 points. That's essentially what it's come down to. And today was a must-win game. We need to keep up that momentum. I said this in the preview last night, and we didn't. And yes, we kept another clean sheet. Yes, we didn't lose. We're still unbeaten on the Tuchel, but that's not the point. There's no point keeping the unbeaten streak on the Tuchel just for the sake of it. We need to get 3 points. That's another 2 points dropped. And if United win against West Ham, we're going to be 6 points behind them. We're 1 point. We're 3 points ahead of West Ham. But West Ham have 2 games in hand now. So, if they win both, they're going to be 3 points clear of Chelsea, and we drop down into 5th. So now top 4 is officially out of our hands. That hard work that we put in against Everton is now redundant. It's pointless now. And this is what I'm saying. You have to keep the momentum. You have to keep grinding results. And this shows me, especially this performance, this result shows me that we're so far off the top. Competing with your Man Cities for the Premier League title, a lot of work has to be done. Not just on a tactical level, but also on a forward offensive level. That front three is not clicking. There's very limited chemistry. This is something that needs to be worked on. I'm not blaming Thomas Tuchel because he's done a tremendous job ever since he's come in. He just hasn't had the required time to be able to implement his tactics, to be able to implement his tactical philosophy for the fluid movement in the final third. It's natural. But it feels as if every time we get the ball to the front three, they just stop and start. It's just lethargic. They can't pass. They stop there. It's as if they're just brainless. They're just brain dead. It's just an empty head with nothing. It's just a skull with no brain. They just stand there. They just do nothing. And it's baffling. Honestly, the annoying part is as well, it's not like we deserve to win because I believe that a draw is a fair result. And that's what the agonising thing is that we didn't even look like scoring. Like, we had a couple of half chances here and there, and to be honest, Leeds had the better chances. We hit the crossbar, but that was because of some jammy deflection. They hit the crossbar from a fantastic effort. Couple of amazing saves from Mendy, by the way. He gets my man of the match, but if your goalkeeper gets your man of the match, you didn't play well. It's as simple as that. If your goalkeeper gets your man of the match, then the rest of the team were shamble, which is absolutely shambolic. It was a diabolical shambles from back to front. Again, another unbeaten result, clean sheet. Obviously there's a few positives, but it's a depressing, uninspiring performance. That's the perfect way to put it, because it just feels as if I just wasted my 2 hours watching my club do absolutely nothing the entire game. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way as well. I mean, what did I just watch? Very, very boring game, not much in it. And 0-0 is probably a fair result, maybe a 1-1. But there's a lot of issues that need to be sorted out, and people saying that we don't need Haaland, we've got Kai Havertz or false nine. Don't get me wrong, Kai Havertz is a generation talent in my personal opinion. I think that he's a top player, and there's a reason why we splashed out the money that we did on him. And I think that again, his false nine is his best position. But to say that we don't need Haaland is rubbish, because the couple of chances we did have, Haaland would bury them. And this is the type games where, as a collective, as a team, if you do not play well, it doesn't matter, because if you get that one odd chance, and if you've got a world-class clinical striker, he'll put the game to bed for you. You only need one chance, one goal. These are the types of players that your Erling Haalands operate on. But the performances, and to be honest, from a tactical perspective, it was a change from Tuchel. He went to a back four this game. And he said before, the formation doesn't matter because the principles always remain the same. Right, so we went for a back four, 4-3-3 formation. The lineup was Edouard Mendy in goal. We had Christensen and Rudiger as the 2 centre-backs. Azpilicueta right back. We had Ben Chilwell left back. We had Jorginho, N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount as a trio. We then had Ziyech, Pulisic, and then we had Kai Havertz as a front three. And to be honest, there was so many things that went wrong on so many levels. And I did tell you guys in the preview, expect Jorginho and Mount to get 90 minutes. Simple as that, because they can't play on Wednesday. They can't, because they're unavailable for selection because they're suspended. They can't play against him, so the logical thing to do is give him a 90 minutes. Mount didn't get a 90 minutes because, again, even though he brought a lot of energy, pressing, intensity, he didn't have a good game. And this is not me bashing Mount, by the way. This is a lot of the players just didn't play well today. Jorginho had a poor game. And this is the thing, right? Leeds disrupted our tempo, and credit to Marcelo Bielsa, he disrupted our tempo tactically. And with Jorginho in there, he's supposed to dictate the tempo of the game. He struggled to control and dominate the midfield because the game was so fast-paced and intensive because Leeds outran us. And what Jorginho should have done was try to slow the game down for Chelsea to essentially shine in it. A bit like what we did against Everton. He was unable to do so again. I'm not going to blame Jorginho because a lot of plays were poor today. But again, you know, the way that Leeds were pressing us so high, we're able to beat the press many times. You can see that it's something that's worked on in the training ground, which is credit to Tuchel for that. Credit to the team. So there are some positives. The way that we're able to beat the press, the triangles, the press resistance, some nice passing here and there, intricate passing. I know it was lethargic at times, but there was some nice, passage of play at times. And in general, for me, there was some decent performance. I thought Eduard Mendy's man of the match. That save was absolutely world class. That fingertip save to push it on the crossbar. And again, it's credit because he's 6'5", but fantastic save nonetheless. He made another fantastic save in the second half. So again, that clean sheet, that is solely down to Eduard Mendy, and of course with the defensive structure. Christensen, solid performance. He did what he had to do. He did a professional job. Nothing spectacular, nothing special. Not a poor performance though, standard, solid, just above average performance. Good interceptions, reading of the game, good headers. Really go alongside him was well deserved. Defensive wise, no complaint. But this is where I get really pissed off now, right? This is where I get really annoyed. And I'm going to be bashing Chilwell now in a second, because what does this guy offer? Now tell me, because what does this guy offer, man? Like, I was against the signing initially. I'm not saying that he's a terrible player. He's not a terrible player. You know, he is a good player. There is a good player in there. There's a good player in there somewhere, but what does this guy actually offer to this team? What does he offer? Offensively, tragic, absolutely tragic. Poor crosses, just blind crosses into the box. No link-up play, lethargic passing, giving the ball away, poor possession, and defensively getting caught out consistently. Not putting the tackles in, not putting the interceptions in. Like, what did this guy do this game? He was one of the worst players on this pitch. He was terrible. If you had a competent left back there, he would have offered a lot more going forward, and he'd be much better defensively. The guy was poor, and there's no excuse. People will say, oh, if we're playing three at the back, you know, left wing back is not his position, whatever. So what's the excuse today? Because we played a four at the back. He's in his natural position. You know, Premier League proven, we're told. Yeah? Premier League proven. Yeah, and Leicester wanted 80 million. We're about to get scammed. Luckily, we only paid 45 to 50 million pounds. But again, it still feels as if we've been robbed. The guy is bog standard. Nothing special about this guy. Good engine, good pace, decent aerially. Nothing more though. Everything else is just average. This guy has nothing going for him, really. I know he's not the finished article, but I don't see anything spectacular attribute-wise. The guy is just so average. And today he was poor. One of our worst performers. I was really upset with his performance today because he let us down in the final third. As for Legueta, again, leadership skills. He's got plenty of experience. Again, average game, nothing special. And this is the thing. It was just an average performance. Nothing special, and it was poor in some parts. And really disappointing, man. I'm really upset and disappointed with the performance because it was a really good opportunity to keep the momentum up. You know, if you want to get top four, you need to be winning these type of games. It's as simple as that. I don't want to hear no excuses. Again, Jorginho, poor game, but he did what he had to do in some parts of the game. Decent. Won some fouls, good passes here and there. He tried to break the lines. Couldn't really control the game as we would have liked, but decent. Kante was good. I thought we had a very good game. The way he was operating up and down the pitch, winning the ball back with his pressure, his interceptions, his tackles, etc. Really impressive performance again. He helped Jorginho with his athleticism to try and get a foothold in the game. And stop the transitions from Leeds because they pressed with intensity. They outrun us. And yeah, a good performance of Kante overall. So again, really happy with the performance that he put in. He had put in a proper shift as well. And then the front three. And a certain Mr. Ziyech, yeah, I prefer not to speak. I prefer not to speak on a certain Ziyech because, and this guy needs to fix up his attitude. He came on with a strop. Like, listen, right? You didn't play well. That's fine. You know, we're all human. There's sometimes that there are times that you won't play well. Okay, that's understandable. But what you did is not on. Yeah, don't come off the pitch like that. Yeah, acknowledge you played poor and try and work harder in training. Understand what your manager wants instruction-wise. You didn't play well. A couple of good cross-field passes with your left foot. You know, every time this guy comes out the edge of the penalty area, he just wants to shoot with his left foot. He just wants to shoot, just pull the trigger. Use your brain. This is not five-a-side football. You're playing professional, highest elite level football in the most intensive league. Look for the pass. We are relying on you for creativity, and you offered none of that this game. Poor passes, Again, he had a couple of good passes, but in general, poor passes, poor decision making as well. You are an experienced 27-year-old and you're playing poor passes, bad decision making, bad shooting, losing the ball. I was really upset, and it's not just this game. This guy has been poor on a consistent level ever since Thomas Tuchel's coming. I said this on my live stream yesterday. He doesn't play enough for me. Like, he doesn't suit the system. This is a problem. There's a good player in there. You build a system around him, he'll shine. He doesn't fit Thomas Tuchel's system. We either have to get rid, sell, loan, do whatever, or bring on as an impact sub. But for him starting, nah, it just ain't cutting it. Pulisic, improved performance. There's a lot of heat on his shoulders. Good performance. I like his skill, his trickery on the right hand side. He's a very skillful winger, nice passing. Could a lot more, but I liked his pressing. Decent performance today. And Kai Havertz, the thing with Kai Havertz is, you know how much I rate Kai Havertz. He didn't have a good game as Everton. He still tried, had a couple of half chances, good link-up play. But towards the end of the second half, he had to keep dropping deeper and deeper and deeper to collect the ball. Because he was staying up the field, but he wasn't receiving the ball. And because he was dropping deeper and deeper, that's exactly what Leeds wanted, because he was only linking up the play, near the halfway line. He's not going to create anything or be dangerous if he's, having to always drop deeper and deeper towards the halfway line. So, just in general, man, it was just a poor performance. Werner came on, he barely took any touches. It was just such a depressing performance, man. Like, I know we didn't lose, I know we didn't concede, but it's 2 points dropped. Ultimately, it's 2 points dropped, and it's not good. It's kind of killed our momentum going into the Atletico game. We just need to hope that we go through. I don't care how we go through on Wednesday, bro. We could draw, we could get so jammy, we could be the worst team on the pitch that night. I don't care. Just get through to the quarters, and we will worry about it when we get there. Just get through. So, just upsetting. We needed to win this game. We didn't. But it's Chelsea. We have to move on up to Chelsea. If you didn't enjoy this review, don't forget to smash like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below who your man of the match was. I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.